What a friend. What a friend. Jesus didn't tell us what to do to be good. Jesus told us that we are good. Jesus didn't tell us what we had to do to be loved by God. Jesus told us we are loved by God. Jesus also gave us the solution to all our problems today. Take it to the law in prayer. Take it to the Lord, take it to the law. It's the same thing. Seek ye first the kingdom. That's what he's saying. Take it within, know the truth, and by knowing the truth, you will be set free. Today's talk is called Jesus' Mission, the same as ours. Well, Jesus' mission was to connect the thinker with the thought. We are the thinker. I am the thinker who thinks the thought. But to connect the thinker with the source of thought takes it another step. See, I think that I'm creating my thoughts. That's where I come up short. In my arrogance, I think it's me creating my thoughts. But in the beginning, let there be light. Let there be light that's the source of thought, is light. And in my confusion that I think I'm the one creating my thoughts. And then I think I have to create another thought. And then I think I have to create another thought. You might understand it as this: I just have to figure it out. We say that. Take it to the Lord in prayer. That's what you do. Take it to the Lord in prayer. Give it over to divine source, the ethers, as it were. And when you do that, it is then revealed to you in truth. See, it, as I've been saying for months now, it, whatever it is already figured out. It is your arrogance. It's my arrogance that says I have to figure out how to get a job. I have to figure out how to pay for this. I have to figure out how to fix my company. I have to figure out how to get carpet. I have to figure out how to get a ceiling. No, it is figured out. If it's got a name, somebody else has done it. Let's be aware of that in the first place. You do not have to figure out how to become a millionaire. You do not have to figure it out. You must let it be revealed. You have a desire for this or that. You're not judged for those desires. You're not judged for the events in your life. You are simply loved by love itself. Do you get that? You are loved by love itself. I am loved by love itself. Let's say that together. I am loved by love itself. Now, I don't know what that means, but I know it's true. Teresa gave me a book had loaned me a book this morning that she brought here, and I just started reading the beginning of it. I thought, oh, it's perfect for today. It's the invitation. It's Araya is the author. On the front it says, it doesn't interest me what you do for a living. I want to know what you ache for. And this is the invitation. It doesn't interest me what you do for a living. I want to know what you ache for, and if you dare to dream of meeting your heart's longing. It doesn't interest me how old you are. I want to know if you will risk looking like a fool for love, for your dream, for the adventure of being alive. It doesn't interest me what planets are squaring your moon. I want to know if you have touched the center of your own sorrow. If you have been opened by life's betrayals or have become shriveled and closed from fear of further pain. I want to know if you can sit with pain, mine or your own, without moving to hide it or fade it or fix it or to hand it a tissue. I added that. I want to know if you can be with joy, mine or yours. If you can dance with wildness and let the ecstasy fill you to the tips of your fingers and toes without cautioning us to be careful, to be realistic, to remember the limitations of being human. It doesn't interest me if the story you are telling me is true. I want to know if you can disappoint another to be true to yourself. If you can bear the accusation of betrayal and not betray your own soul. If you can be faithless and therefore trustworthy. I want to know if you can see beauty, even when it's not pretty, every day. And if you can source your own life from its presence. I want to know if you can live with failure, yours and mine, and still stand on the edge of the lake and shout to the silver of the full moon, yes! It doesn't interest me to know where you live or how much money you have. I want to know if you can get up after the night of grief and despair, weary and bruised to the bone, and do what needs to be done to feed the children. It doesn't interest me who you know or how you came to be here. I want to know if you will stand in the center of the fire with me and not shrink back. It doesn't interest me where or what or with whom you have studied. I want to know what sustains you from the inside when all else falls away. I want to know if you can be alone with yourself and if you truly like the company you keep in the empty moments. At Unity Center for Practical Spirituality, I believe that in my talks I ask for big stuff. But I ask for it from big people. I ask of myself, and I ask for it of all of you. Now, I'm not here to judge you if you decline. I'm not calling you up on the phone to say, did you get it yet? You know? How about that? Do you like that teaching? Is it working for you yet? Have you done it? Why haven't you done it? From Man's Search, it's called Search for God, from the Edgar Casey readings. And the affirmation is, Father, as we seek to see and know thy face, may we each as individuals and as a group come to know ourselves, even as we are known, that we, as lights in thee, may give the better concept of thy spirit in this world. What that's asking of each of us is to be the light of God, at work, at play, in the world as you know it. You see, in the world, this universe as we know it, there is an essence that is perfect. I don't know if you're aware of that. The universe, in the universe, there is an essence, or we call it presence, that is perfect. And we need to know that perfection. That's what we must focus on in the universe, rather than what's wrong with the universe. What's wrong with the people in the universe? How could man let this happen? Well, how could I let this happen? I'll tell you why. How. I could forget I was good. I could forget that I am good. When I work with the Boys and Girls Village, I explain to them that they are good. And then I know, especially at the beginning, it's like, well, how could I be good and be treated the way I've been treated? And I explain to them that some of the big people in your life, the adults, they forgot they were good. And when they forgot about themselves, they forgot about you. It's unfortunate, but here you are today. And you're with me, and you're with everybody else here. And the purpose of you guys working with each other now is to remember that each other is good. And we go around the room, and first we do I am good, and then we go, you are good, you are good, you are good. And I ask, who here would be willing to remember that somebody is good when they forget? And usually half a dozen kids, out of 15, raise their hands. I say, good, I'm going to hold you to that. That promise to remember that your friend over there is good, even when he or she forgets. Now imagine that. See, this chapter is called Know Thyself. No, to thine own self be true. It's not be true to my truth. It's be true to truth. There is a difference. And so, to know thyself, each of us must first know that we must set a standard of measurement, of valuation, of precept, and of concept. Let us not measure by earthly standards, If we would know ourselves, rather let us measure by that which we have found within ourselves to be our ideal, knowing what we believe in and acting that way. Let us therefore be willing to be measured not by what we have, but by what we give. Now, what we give isn't the stuff we give. It's the attitude with which we give it. Do you give with gratitude that there is an infinite supply? Do you give a smile to another being with the understanding that there is infinite joy to be given away freely? Do you offer love unconditionally, knowing that there is infinite love, and so you cannot use up your supply of love if you give with this attitude? If you give expecting to get back, then you don't understand the law of supply. The law of supply says there is an infinite supply. There is an infinite source. And when I know myself, then I know God. When I know God, I know myself. As long as I think there's not quite enough for me to give, there's not enough, then I begin to use up my supply. And as we spoke, was it 2 weeks ago when we talked about the 10 bridesmaids? How does one store up enough? Through true prayer and true meditation. True prayer and true meditation. To be quiet, to be still. It's a funny thing that in religion, we have been brought up to here, there is a set day of Sabbath. There's a Sabbath day. As if there's only one. That only one day belongs to God. And the rest are mine. Well, that's crazy. Every day is God's. And none of them are mine. Every minute, every second is God's. There is no second, there is no minute, there is no moment that is mine. Because when I think of it as mine, what I'm thinking about is my ego. I'm thinking about my personality. Well, don't I get some time to enjoy my personality? No. You get all the time to enjoy your spirit. You get all the time in the world to enjoy your spirit. Let your individuality come first. Let your spirit come first. You won't be concerned about your personality because you'll be the light of God at work. You will know thyself. And in knowing thyself, one is set free, one is at peace, one is at joy, because one intuitively knows what to do in all circumstances and in all situations. One is not confronted with the thought of sacrifice when one knows oneself. When one welcomes the infinite supply of God into one's thoughts. That is connecting the thinker with the source of thought. Connecting the thinker with the source of thought. Jesus' mission, our mission. To connect my thoughts with the source of the thought. So that I then know myself and therefore infinite supply. Imagine that you didn't have to worry about using up your joy. You know, some of you who have children, I won't say all of you, I don't know all of you as parents, some of you with children, I believe you don't, that you are certain that there is no end to the joy you can see in your child from yourself. You can always look at your child joyfully, even if you're mad at them. You have this thing in your gut that loves, that says, yes, I love this being, and I'm so glad that I love this being. Even on the days they make mistakes, even on the days they scare you like nothing else. Because as parents, I'm sure there are days you've experienced fear in regards to your children when something comes up, when they express their independence in a way that you don't agree with. You know, my mother felt that way at 12 when I started driving. And I didn't understand her concern. I drove very well. Yeah. What's the big deal? If the police don't catch me, who cares?
You drive and smoke at the same time, right?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I drove, I smoked. I didn't do drugs, I didn't drink until 15. The physical body. To know ourselves is not only to be cognizant of the acts of our physical bodies, but to know ourselves as entities, complete factors, capable of knowing all that goes on within and without. This spring of knowledge is tapped only by those who are willing to pay the price. The price is a complete surrender of ourselves, with a purification and a dedication that come only through prayer, meditation, and service. That's what last week when we said, how can I serve today? And if I am assured that my service is never a sacrifice, is never a compromise of my true self, then how could I ever wear out from service? How could I ever be exhausted from service? I would never again need to complain, I'm too tired. That doesn't mean I wouldn't experience a weariness in myself when it's time to rest. But it would be a weariness with gratitude that I served today, and I served in light. I served in love. I served in wisdom. I served by asking God how to serve, by asking the voice for God how to serve today. In my service, how do I perceive whatever the event is? In my service, what are the words to say that would reveal the God light? And what actions would I take to reveal the God light and best serve another to know God better, to know peace better, to know joy, to know all of the qualities and characteristics of God even better than they did when I walked in the door? There are times that people will look at you and you won't understand why. Yeah, I had to learn that, because after I really started studying this stuff, I started getting looks like on 9th Avenue and places in New York City, and I thought, this cannot be lust. I don't believe this is lust. Ooh.
Not all of it.
What it was.
Calling.
Your payphone is ringing.
Is that for
What?
Shawn?
So I had to pray on it, and I realized, oh, it's light. They see light. I'm studying God all the time. What they're seeing is light, and they're curious about it. When you study this stuff, when you begin to apply it in every aspect of your life that you are willing to, and hopefully it's every aspect of your life, there's a light that emanates from you. There's a confidence and an assurance. It's okay. There's a confidence and an assurance that emanates from your very being, and it's very attractive. It's very appealing. And some will want to get to know you, but they will do it at an arm's length because it's a little scary. Because they don't know if they want to make that commitment yet, and they don't even necessarily know why they're drawn to you. But if you know yourself, you're safe with whatever it is they're approaching you for. Whatever it is they're looking at you for. You are safe because you're not going to cross a boundary, for one thing. And the other part is you'll get it. Oh, I'm studying light. I'm practicing light. That's what they're drawn to. And some people will confuse light with lust. And they will attempt to. I had a teacher who said that, because as a minister, I'm not supposed to sleep with the congregation. I think that's probably a good suggestion.
I think so.
That's why he's a member of the congregation.
But he wasn't at the beginning. But one teacher said, even though some of the congregation may want to sleep with you, it's not appropriate. And I love that she said, of course they're going to want to sleep with you. You're all sparkly and you know God. What a nice compliment that is. However, you're the one in power. You're the adult in that relationship. No matter how you look at it, you're the adult in that relationship. And I have had an experience where a minister was a bit inappropriate with me, and it hurt my feelings. Hurt my feelings a lot. And I was asked to be on the Joey Reynolds show a few years ago when the head bishop from St. Patrick's Cathedral was caught having an affair, 25-year affair with his married secretary.
Whoa.
And what I loved about Myra Channing is her name, and she booked the shows for Joey. And Myra just wanted a minister on, and she thought, well, who do I call? Let me see, Norman Vincent Peale, Joel Osteen, or Shawn. Whoever answers first gets to come on. Well, I was usually the one that answered first. And I get down to Wall Street to the studio there, and I'd be on. But he asked me what I thought about that, and I said, well, no matter what it is, he's at fault. Because he was the adult. He was the adult, even though they're both adult consenting adults, he's the adult. You know, with the one minister that it happened with me, because there was a pattern in my life, and this is what I had to work on and see correctly, where perpetrators tried to say, it didn't happen, Shawn. It didn't happen. Well, it sure seemed like it happened. And then the last time this incident took place, and I confronted it, and the minister said, Shawn, you were there too, which is the same as saying, it didn't happen. I said, yes, but you were the adult. I said, now this we can work through, and it is forgivable, but I would enjoy some help. If not, I'm going to have to go away by myself, and we will not have a relationship of any kind, because again, I don't trust you, and I don't trust my own thoughts when I'm around you, because I will hate you when I'm around you. And so I had to go apart. And it took years. It took a lot of years to understand that this minister forgot he was good, and forgot I was good. Because everybody's studying light, and all of a sudden you think, oh, this next step will make it even better. And it ruins it all. Suddenly there are secrets. It's like going through somebody's medicine cabinet. You have a secret now. You go through their dresser drawers. You have a secret now. Because how do you go to your friend and say, I went through your medicine cabinet. I went through your dresser drawers. You have a secret now. And I have some friends who say, oh, I do that all the time. I said, but you now you have secrets. So? And they don't understand. Then they go off and hurt themselves in one form or another. The food, alcohol, whatever, just self-loathing. And it's to know thyself is to remember that one is good. Now, what a friend we have in Jesus, that Jesus tells us, go to God in prayer. Go to the law in prayer. Whenever you don't know what to think, whenever you don't know what to do, ask yourself, what's the law around this? What is the spiritual law governing secrets? What is the spiritual law governing my money? What is the spiritual law governing my body? What's the spiritual law governing sex? What is the spiritual law governing all aspects of my life? Life, death, race consciousness. What is the spiritual law? Because when you know the law and you seek to work with the law, you can't help but prosper spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically. It is inevitable that you will experience abundant prosperity whenever you seek to align yourself with the law at any cost. At any cost to your ego. At any cost to your personality. It's like I said, I'll never be able to smoke or drive again if I quit smoking. And I finally said, to heck with it, so I'll never drive again. I will pray better if I don't smoke. But I don't know, you won't be able to talk on the phone. Then fine, I'll never talk on the phone again. If that's what it takes, I'm going to be free. I made friends with the cigarettes, put them away, and whatever came up for my highest good, I was willing to risk from my personality, from my physical life. And so to look at your life always and ask Spirit, so what's the law? What's the law? What's the law of this? I want to read one little more passage to you. Oh, here we go. Our bodies are temples of the living God. It has pleased God to so manifest himself in the world. Now, you gotta reinterpret that into metaphysics, because it makes God sound like a person. But our physical bodies are composite units of creative force, manifesting in the material world. All parts of our bodies must work in unison, for should one war against another, discord would naturally follow. Each part has its functions, and it is so important that no other part can take its place. Neither can any part be counted insignificant and useless. By keeping in touch with the creative force, we rise above the conditions where the blind lead the blind. And we know that we are guided by the all-seeing eye in all that we are called to do. And so, Jesus' mission was to connect the thinker with the source of thought. My mission is to connect the thinker with the source of thought. Your mission is to connect the thinker with the source of thought. Get into alignment with right thinking, and I guarantee you will live a prosperous life at every single second of the day. Congratulations.